Welcome to Minibytes session 12. So I can't believe I passed halfway now. This is a series called 21 in 21, which is 21 mini courses, each lasting 21 minutes roughly. And it's over 21 days in the year 2021. And we try to go for 21 different topics. You may spot a theme of 21 coming through. This is session 12, and we're going to be looking at 21 different keyboard shortcuts to help when you're teaching online. Now, we've adapted this slightly given that most schools and settings are returning to school and face-to-face teaching. So it's not fully about teaching online anymore, but it's also about using your Windows computer, your Windows 10 PC in the school environment as well. So this is what we're going to go for. If you're interested in becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator, you'll need to get 2,000 credits and 2 hours worth of online learning at the education.microsoft.com website. But in addition to that, you can use the code at the very bottom, which is TGTBEC2321, which I'll share in the chat at the end. If you use that code, you'll get 300 credits towards your MIE status. So we're going to do in the best countdown possible. I've jumbled these up a bit by theme. We're going to be looking at some keyboard shortcuts from Onenote. We're going to be looking at some keyboard shortcuts from Office in general, so Windows in general, and we're going to be looking at some for Teams at the very end. As I say, I've restructured them, and I've saved my 2 favorite keyboard shortcuts for last, so we'll see how we go. We've got 21 minutes, and let's begin. So the first keyboard shortcut we're going to be looking at is going to be in OneNote. So I'm going to click on OneNote here, and hopefully you can all see my OneNote screen. I've made an example OneNote here, and it's just got no descriptions in here apart from untitled pages and untitled sections. The first thing I'm going to do, the first keyboard shortcut is Control and T in OneNote. So if I press down Control and T in OneNote, it makes a new section. Look at this side here. It's got sections 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. I can make a section 8 by holding down Control and pressing T. If I keep on doing that, I keep getting new sections. They fill up along the tabs at the top. And this is new section is Control and T. OK, so if I go there, you can see where it goes. But a new section is fine, but we need to do a bit more. So this is my little secret extra one for OneNote, where it's actually 21B if you wish. Control and N will give you a new page. So if you have a look at what I've got there for Control and T for a new section, look at the blue middle part of your screen there where it says new section. I'm going to press Control and N for a new page. New page is Control and N. I can do that again and again and again, Control N, and I can just keep on going, and it helps me get them in place. But if I wanted to place a new page in the middle of a stack, I can be a bit cheeky and do Control and Alt and N, Control and Alt and N, and you see there it's put the untitled page in the middle. So Control, Alt, Alt, and N inserts it in the stack. So it inserts new page below where you currently are. So that's all nice. So Control, Alt, and N inserts a new page. Control N inserts new page at the bottom. And Control T inserts new tabs. OK, so that's all about organizing OneNote and using it quickly. That's tip number 21, or keyboard shortcut 21 is T and N with Control in OneNote. I've also got one final bit. If I'm in a multiple page section in OneNote here, I could be clicking through the sections in turn. But when I get to the pages, instead of clicking on each of the pages in turn, I can hold on Control and press the page up or the page down button, and that allows me to scroll up and down through my page as I go. OK, so Control and page down. If I hold on Control and page up, it goes up the stack. Control and page down, it goes down the stack. OK, so there my keyboard shortcuts 21 and 20. They're all about OneNote, about making new tabs on new pages, inserting a new page, or flipping through the pages that you've made. So that's all about Control and T, Control and N, Control Alt N, and Control and page up or page down. We're going to move out of OneNote now. We're going to be looking at the Windows environment as a whole. So this is my desktop. It's quite busy, but you can see it's got a purpose to it. And I've closed most of my tabs here. Hopefully I'm still in Teams in the meeting. Jolly good. That's not to worry about there then. and I can look at seeing what I can do with keyboard shortcuts. Now this icon in the corner, the little squares, is the Windows icon. There's a key on your keyboard that has the same logo on. It's called the Windows key. I'm going to be using that Windows key for the next few shortcuts. So when you're on your desktop or anywhere in any program, if you hold on that Windows key and press I, you'll get the settings up. So why is this useful? Pressing Windows key and I brings up settings. Why is it useful? Well, it brings up your options straight away to work with your display, so you can change your interactive whiteboard or second screen or something similar through system. You can look at your mouse and devices. You can personalize and put lock backgrounds, that sort of thing in place. And you can do various other tools as well, including the narrator, the magnifier, and the high contrast. I'm going to just take this moment just to show you how I can change my mouse size and my mouse color to make it more visible. And that's because I've used Windows key and the letter I, and that brings up my settings. Okay, so Windows key and I is settings. That is number 19 on my list. Let's carry on down this list. I'm going to show you something else on Windows 10, which is lovely. And this is called the Action Center. So you can get the Action Center by clicking on this speech bubble down here. I'm not going to press on the hang up there at the moment, but I could also press the Windows key and A to bring up the Action Center. So Windows key and A pops out the sidebar there for the Action Center. Now you can see the Action Center contains a lot of things which are useful to colleagues who are working in schools. So if you're presenting to children in the real world or online, you can do a do not disturb function, which is by default. It comes through here. It's turned off my notifications. I can check my network. I can check all settings. I can do night light mode, and it changes my lighting on my screen. You'll see it turns less blue and more orangey, and that saves my eyes. And I can turn off night light again. This one here is do not disturb, and I can change that for, it's called focus assist, and focus assist allows me to do different things without being disturbed, so it turns off alarms or incoming notifications. You can see here my focus assist is currently on because I'm presenting in Teams. You've also got projecting your screen to different screens if you have them attached, or connecting to another device. And that's all through the Action Center, which is you can close it by pressing Escape, but you can open it by holding down the Windows key and pressing A. Windows and A is keyboard shortcuts to get the Action Center open or closed. If any of these pop-out things occur, you can press Escape, which is the ESC key in the top left or top right of your keyboard, and you'll find that you can escape from any program by clicking that button. OK, we've gone through that. I'm now going to look at printing my screen. So just to prove a point, I'm going to open up my PowerPoint here, and I'm going to just I'm going to make a new slide just very quickly. OK, I'll just click on new slide, and this is a live screenshot. OK, now how do I do a screenshot? Now, obviously, there's a print screen as a button on your computer already, and print screen. If you press print screen, it then copies it, and you can then paste your print screen in. So print screen is a button by itself, PRT SCRN, and it gives you an image. But sometimes you want to get a lot of images ready to prepare for a lesson. You don't have to be copying and pasting each one. So for this option here, we're going to be using the Windows key, and we're going to be using the Windows key with print screen. So on this one here, it's going to be Windows. I'm going to write down the Windows key because I can't do the other 4 boxes. And the print screen button, which is PRTSCR. OK, so Windows key and print screw. If I hold down the Windows key and press print screw, did you see my screen go black there? I'm not sure if you can see it through Teams or not. I'm going to do it again. Windows key and print screw. You see, I'm not getting this to paste. What happens is when you press the Windows key and print screen, it takes the screenshot and it saves it in your pictures folder. So I'm going to go to the bottom here, this folder here. And if I just go to pictures on the side, so desktop downloads, documents and pictures are your defaults. Pictures is there. And the first time you do it, it makes a folder called screenshots. And every time after that, you get your screenshots coming in. So that's a desktop screenshot from earlier on, which I took. You can see a picture of my desktop turns up. And I can go through these photographs. I can see the second desktop screenshot. This is a recent one I've just taken, and that's the second copy of it. And they're all images there, which I can now drag into if I want to drag it into PowerPoint. But it means it removes a layer of hassle about saving each print screen screenshot that you take. There is obviously the snipping tool, which can do something similar. Okay, and it's saying here the shortcut to something which is a new generation of snipping tool is Windows, Shift and S. I'm going to press that very quickly. Windows, Shift and S brings up this, and I can create a snip of anything I want to. And that then is in a pasting situation again. So I've got to paste it, and I've got that screenshot. So that there is the snipping tool and the print screen, and the Windows print screen are Windows, Shift and S to get your snip and save function. So that's the screenshotting part. That's tip number 17 about screenshots, Windows and print screen. We're going to go now to a little bit more of a support route. I'm going to just minimize these windows for a moment. I'm going to pop open, excuse me. I'm going to pop open a my Teams page again, just very briefly, just to show how it works. So make sure your cameras are off. This is my Teams page. If I wanted to look at this more closely, I might want to magnify it. Now to magnify, I can go in using the settings menu, or alternatively, I can press the Windows button and either plus or minus. Obviously, plus will magnify in a positive way, or minus magnifies in a negative way. So I'll hold on Windows and press plus. And what this does here is this then follows me around and tracks my cursor around. So I'm now magnifying my screen so I can see what's going on. I can increase this magnification even more each time, and I can see what's going on. And this can really help if you've got somebody who's looking at fine detail. Again, Windows minus just takes it out. Windows plus takes it in. And you can take it in all the way to really focus on fine detail. If you're doing a computing lesson, you might look at pixels. You can do that to some extent using the magnifier. Or alternatively, you can look at text. So I can hold on the Windows key and press plus, and the magnifier will follow my mouse around as I go. Recording has started. If I want to get out of the magnifier, I can press Windows minus as much as I want to, and just click on close. The magnifier is a pop-up tool, but that's keyboard shortcut 16, which is Windows and plus. I'll say our Windows plus and Windows minus once it's open. We'll get the magnifier tool working. OK, so now we're in a situation where we want to try and do something with our files and folders, but I don't want to be clicking down here and finding my shortcut to File Explorer. I don't want to be going here and clicking up and finding the computer icon by scrolling through. Oh, what's it called? Where is it? How do I find my folders again? Click, 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 searching for it. Instead of doing all that, I can do a single easy click, keyboard shortcut, and this one brings up the file manager straight away. So it's Windows and E for Echo. Windows and E brings up the This PC menu straight away, so you can see what your My Computer icon would be. So I can do this Windows and E icon as many times as I want to, which is quite useful if you're a teacher and you're trying to move files from one folder structure to another folder structure. So I could go in I could go in my photographs. Yes, let's get pictures. And I can look at my screenshots I've just taken earlier on. I can go on here and I can go on, I'm going to say documents for the sake of it. And I could drag them from here and paste them in there. And it's not a problem, it's just straight in without any fuss. I'll tidy that up later on. But Windows and E opens up a new version of the This PC window, your file manager. You can look at other tools as well for file management systems, but Windows and E, you can very quickly get to where you need to be if you've organized yourself. We'll close that one down. We're going to look down. The next section here, now I wasn't going to put this in the keyboard shortcuts, but some of you may not be aware of it. So this is the magic whizzy bit of switching between programs as fast as possible. So you'll see here, I've got a number of I'm going to open up Microsoft Edge there just to give myself a tab. I'm going to open up, I've already got screenshots open there, and I can see I've got Teams and I've got a couple of Teams windows open, and I've got Onenote open as well. So all of these files are currently open, but how do I switch between them quickly? Well, the quickest way to do it is holding down the Alt button, Alt, next to the keyboard, and pressing the Tab button, which is next to the letter Q on your keyboard. Alt and Tab, and if I hold down the Alt and don't let go, I can press Tab repeatedly to cycle through all my open windows. Okay, when I let go of the Alt, it takes me to wherever I've been. So hold on Alt, press Tab, let go of everything when you've got to the place you want to be. There we go. So I'm going through there, Alt and Tab. If I've gone past what I want to be on, so say I've gone there, I want to go back to keyboard shortcuts, I can hold on Shift and it goes backwards. So Alt and Tab is forwards, then let go when you're ready. or Shift and Tab will take you backwards through that list. I'm going to go back to Teams, Shift and Tab, let go, and I'm there in Teams. If I wanted to be a bit less keyboard clunky and didn't want to have the claw hand of Control Alt, Alt and Tab, or Alt Shift and Tab, I can hold down Control and Alt and Tab, and that just brings up the menu, which I can then navigate with my mouse. So if I've suddenly got a lot of windows open and want to get rid of some, I've held down Control and Alt and Tab, and I can then click on things I want to access. Or you can see I've got a cross in the corner. I can click on those crosses to get rid of them. So Control, Alt and Tab makes it a sticky menu until you click off it. That was two different variants, actually three different variants for number 14 keyboard shortcut, which is Control, Alt, Tab, or Alt, Tab, or Alt, Shift, Tab, and that moves through all your open windows. Let's have a look at something else now. So we're going to go to anything which we want to split screen on. So in my window here, I'm going to be clicking on Teams, and I'm going to hold down the Windows key and press the left arrow. So Windows key and left arrow pushes it to one side. And that just gives me half my screen to do something with, and I've then got the other half of my screen to pick something else. So I can click on any product I want to, and it'll fill it in, or alternatively, I can go along here. If I open up this Minibytes 11, if I hold down Windows and press the right arrow, it pushes it across to the right. So I can see here, I've got my left and right side of my screen. Okay, now these keyboard shortcuts are lovely because it allows you to switch things around quite easily by pressing the left and right arrow. And if I hold down Windows and press right arrow on my Word document, it minimizes it so it's floating again. Hold down Windows and press right arrow again, and it locks it to the right. So it's quite good for treating your Windows computer screen like a book, and you can flick between your programs that way if you want to. I'm going to just do this and flick that back across. OK, and there we go. So you can see that is there. I'll maximize Teams and see how we go. So it's Control. Sorry, not Control, it's the Windows key and left or right, and it gives you that split screening effect, and it moves backwards and forwards. That's keyboard shortcut 13, the Windows key left and Windows key right. Okay, so I've now got a lot of working windows open. If I just minimize this slightly, you can see I've got all of these windows and tabs are open, and my desktop is very cluttered. This is quite frustrating. So what I want to do is I want to be able to see my desktop straight away. So this was going to be number 12. This is going to be view your desktop straight away. And you can do it in one of two ways. If you did it with the mouse, you could go to the bottom corner and click on the very edge, and it clears your desktop and puts it back again. But the Windows shortcut for that is Windows key and the letter D clears all your open windows just so you can see your desktop. Pressing Windows and D again puts them all back. If you wanted one particular program open and you want to shake the rest out of the way, this isn't a keyboard shortcut, but if you grab a hold of the title bar of any program, so you're moving it around, give it a wiggle, everything else vanishes. Okay, so it's just a wiggle and they all come back again. Wiggle and they vanish, wiggle and they come back. I love the Microsoft wiggle. It should be some sort of dance move, but the Microsoft wiggle helps to minimize all the windows. Sorry, give you the desktop view and minimize all the background windows. The next one we're going to do from here, so it was number 12, is desktop view, Windows and D. Get rid of everything, Windows and D, put it back again. We could do the wiggle, but in actual fact, if you want to minimize all the windows and make it neat and tidy, if you press down Windows and M, that minimizes everything, and Windows and M does not bring it back up again. So the desktop view does do that. So Windows desktop view will only open and close windows which are currently open. All these files are still open, but they're now all minimized and tucked away neat and tidily. So that's Windows and M to minimize, which is a one-way system, or Windows and D to temporarily hide and then re-visualize them again. Okay, so I've got a very different desktop here. I'm going to just reopen all these tabs just to make it look busy. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to leave those there. I'm going to put on that there. I'm going to put on my PowerPoint. What else did I have open? I had that open, and I think you had Skype open. There you go. So I've got all these tools here open. This is very, very busy, but I might be working on all of these when someone comes along and asks me to focus on something else for a minute. Now I'm going to do this. I'm not sure if it'll work in a live broadcast in Teams, but Windows Control and D will give me a new fresh desktop. So Windows Control and D gives me a new fresh desktop to work in, and I can move backwards and forwards through them by holding down Windows and Control and using left and right arrow to go between my busy desktops. If you want to see them all, you can press Windows, Control and F4. sorry, Windows Control and Windows Control and D gives you the new fresh desktop. I just closed the desktop by pressing Windows Control and F4. That's Windows Control and D gives you a new desktop. If I want to see what's going on, this little unknown icon here, the task view, shows me all my current desktops. It's the same as clicking on that there. Gives me new desktops to play with. Okay, I can cycle between those desktops. Again, Windows Control and left or right to go through, and I'll find out where my Teams is. There we go. Back to there. If I want to get rid of those, I can again just Windows Control and F4, and that gets rid of all my spare desktops. Okay, that was number 11. We're going to get down here now. Number 9 is Windows and 1 to 9. So I'm just going to minimize all my windows for a second. Sorry, Windows and M. Minimize all my windows. You'll see along here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 icons at the bottom. If I want to open 1 to 9 of those icons, if I hold on the window button and the number of the icon, it will open that thing. So for Edge, I hold on Windows and press 1. It's opened up my Edge browser. If I want to see that File Explorer, I hold on Windows and 3, and it opens up my File Explorer. It saves me going to the bottom and clicking on it. If I've got some PowerPoint here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guess what? That's right, Windows and 8 brings up PowerPoint. Okay, excellent stuff. That was tip number 9. The keyboard shortcuts, Windows and the numbers gives you your bottom row pinging into place. We're going to pop in the Teams now for the final few demonstrations. So here's Teams, pop open Teams, and I'm going to just I'm going to give Teams a shake because I want to see my desktop. Okay, so I'm now in Teams here. I'm going to just go into this demonstration of Teams. It's my calendar, which looks a bit busy, but don't worry about it. In Teams, you can look at your list button. So down the side here, you've got activity, chat, Teams, calendar, calls, files. In the same tool, in the same way as you did the windows and numbers for the bottom row, if you hold on Control and the number, you'll get to your side. So I'm going to go here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 is calendar, 6 is files. Control 6 takes me to files. Okay, there we go. So the control and the number takes you up and down your list. And then the final part of Teams, which is useful, if you want to zoom in and out, people say about the text in Teams can be quite difficult to read. You can use the Control equals sign to zoom into your text. So Control equals zooms in. You can see there zooming in, and Control minus takes you out. That's slightly different from the Control plus and minus in other products. So Control equals is tip number 7 for shortcuts. We're going to be looking at Teams, and if you want to have Control Shift and P, so in the Teams meeting, so I'm going to go to my camera now in the Teams meeting. I'm going to spotlight myself so you can see me. If I just can dismiss all these. So if I spotlight myself, you'll all see me clearly. And in my background here, I can blur my background by holding on Control and Shift and the letter P. And that gives me my background options here, and I can blur it or not blur it. I've currently got an artificial background on, but it will then bring it up. So Control, Shift and P brings up your background settings to change your virtual background. I'm not going to do that right now because we're running very short on time. Number 6 is that. Number 5, you can still look at my camera. Control, Shift and O, the letter O turns on and off your camera. So Control, Shift and O, camera off, O, camera on, O, camera off, O, camera on. That's Control, Shift and O, does your camera off and on for number 5. You can mute and unmute. So I've done Control, Shift O to turn on and off my camera. I can mute my microphone by doing Control, Shift and M. Microphone on, microphone off. It's Control Shift and M. Obviously, you can't hear me when I'm pressing it, and if I'm not talking. But if I talk while I'm doing, then you can. I am recording my audio because I've been pressing Control Shift and M. Okay, top 2 tips now. Best keyboard shortcuts ever. I'm going to go to. I've got a Word document open for this one. So this is a table. I've realized my table's in the wrong order, and I need to shift these rows up and down. Instead of faffing with rows, then I can just go on here and I can hold on Alt and Shift. Once I've selected the row I want to move, Alt and Shift, and then press up or down, and it goes up or down. That is wonderful. If you break off too high, it makes a new table, and you can move things up and down. And what's even better is that some sort of a Microsoft wizardry here. If you hold on multiple rows, and it's Alt and Shift, and you go up and down, it breaks up tables and separates them out. That one there is a lifesaver in itself, especially for report writing. And then the very last one, I've often had this mistake where I have written something in all caps. No, what do I do with that? Okay, so select the text, and this is the best keyboard shortcut ever in my opinion. If you hold on Shift and press F3, it cycles through the cases. So this is Shift and the letter F3 button at the top above number 3. Press it once, it goes all lowercase. Again, it goes to sentence case, which is capital letters at the start. And again, it's full all caps. That's Shift and F3 changes your case in seconds, and it lasts for hours. It's been slightly more than 21 minutes. I do apologize for that, but I've given you slightly more than 21 shortcuts too. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it's been worthwhile. I know that we have run slightly over our 21 minutes time, but hope it's been worthwhile. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat. If you have any questions about the keyboard shortcuts, you can rewatch this video. We'll be putting a link on the school's ICT webpage.